What Now podcast. I'm Darryl Elliott, and I'm here with our panel, the Dream Team, Myneca Ojo, Archbishop Darel Chase, and Regi McClurkin. We're here to talk to you about all the things that are going on, the things that matter, and how they affect you and I. But we also want to talk about moving forward and what can we do about it to make things better. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels here on Believe Broadcasting. Feel free to leave a comment. We read them, and we like to respond to you if we can. And we really thank you all for growing the channel, growing the show. We're getting great views. I appreciate it. Just keep it up. We want to get into the algorithm really good and really deep so that we can keep on spreading the word. If you have anything that you'd like to contribute as a possible topic, also send that to us through the comments, and we would love to be able to see if we can integrate it into the show. Hey, everybody. How you doing today?
Hey, Darryl, Myneca, and Archbishop. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you guys. Well, here we are, another week in the life of life.
Life is lifing, yes.
Life is lifing out here. Today we got a few things that we really want to talk about, current events and current things that are going on. Today, what we want to lead with, we do want to talk about this whole thing going on surrounding the Epstein files and Trump's desperate attempt to try to change the conversation. It got so bad that he just yelled out, "Will you stop talking about Epstein?" That's when you know it's getting bad. and it almost sounds like he's saying nothing else that I'm throwing out isn't working. You guys aren't taking the bait, and his base is his base is fracturing over this issue.
Yes.
The press keeps asking, and now the latest thing, of course, in the vault of greatest hits, Barack Obama. And now today, and I'm not going to play that clip, but I will play this, play something else concerning it. But Tulsi Gabbard came out today and said, "I have the smoking gun," and she waved the piece of paper. She didn't say what it was, but she said, "I have it right here."
Right.
We know that she's been fighting for her life right now in the administration, so she's doing whatever she has to do to get into his good graces. But let's go ahead and catch up contextually on what's going on. So let's look at this concerning the Trump, Epstein, and now the entanglement with Barack Obama and the Russia investigation. So hold on.
Whoa.
Potentially embarrassing vote of lawmakers demanding more transparency on the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
We're not going to play political games with this. We've all been very clear and transparent.
The House Speaker, a staunch Trump ally, giving the president cover, saying a vote isn't needed because the White House already promised to provide more credible files.
You also have to allow the administration the space to do what it is doing.
A decision disappointing even Republicans, with some describing it as a stall tactic.
Sort of stick your head in the sand, let the administration maybe dissipate this by dribbling some stuff out.
I think it's a mistake. I think we just get on with it.
Epstein, a convicted sex offender, died by suicide in 2019. Trump has struggled to distance himself from his former friend, and his administration has not released more Epstein files, despite promising to do so. Lawmakers say they'll subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence, with the Department of Justice also requesting an interview. In a statement saying this DOJ does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead, and that they hope to talk to Maxwell about anyone who has committed crimes. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says he intends to do the interview. He previously served as Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer.
I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Increasingly desperate to divert attention, the president making wild, unsubstantiated claims, calling for the arrest of his political opponents.
After what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people.
When asked about the Epstein investigation, Trump now deflects to allegations that Democrats Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden took part in a conspiracy to rig and steal elections, mashing together some outright lies and other misleading claims.
And Katie, I guess it's gotten to the point now that Barack Obama is speaking out on this?
Yeah, his office issued a statement acknowledging that it does not normally dignify, quote, constant nonsense and misinformation with a response. But in this case, he's calling the attacks ridiculous and weak.
Thank you, Katie. That's the CBC's Katie Simpson tonight in Washington.
Okay, so we have it. We have now this tangled web. We have now this tangled web of Trump, Epstein, Obama. We have this whole thing, and let me give some context. What's happening is that the House is adjourning early to go on break to avoid a vote to force the release of the Epstein files. So we know this is the doing of the Republican speaker, and as a result, they are now yelling. It seems the more they do, the more it gets talked about. And then on top of it now, Tulsi Gabbard, who is the director of national intelligence, and I do say that loosely, she has now said she has evidence and a smoking gun that Barack Obama manufactured the Russia election interference case, which is now 10 years ago, just to let you all know that. And we know that's been an obsession of Trump also. It has already been not only investigated, but it's been audited. It's been gone through by inspectors generals. All that, it's really a done deal, but it's not done as far as Donald Trump is concerned. So we know that's going to be near and dear to his heart. So we have that. Now we're at the point that people are saying this is a distraction. Some of MAGA, I was just checking on them. I have to do a wellness check on MAGA. And they some are taking it, but some are still asking for Epstein. So what do we say, guys? What's the deal here? What is this going to work? That's my question. Is this going to be an effective distraction? Who wants to start?
Well, Myneca?
I'll start. I've been reading up on this. I haven't really given it a lot of thought because anytime I hear Tulsi Gabbard's name associated with something, I kind of just, shy away from the subject. It's really boring to me.
Yep.
But the question is, will this take steam? And can this revert to something that could be problematic? We know that obviously not care. And this is something.
Myneca, I need to tell you this. Tulsi Gabbard did do a criminal referral to the Justice Department on Obama, but we know that goes with that you can criminally refer anyone. So let's just make that clear. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But I did want to put that out there.
What we've done is we've federalized a situation. I believe we're one step away from. We're one step closer to the eradication of democracy in this country. So now we're at a point where we're going after our alleged enemies. Keep in mind, Obama has served 2 terms as president. He cannot run again.
Right.
And so this is the expectation in this whole thing going down, in my opinion, is that they believe it will trickle down to a base and reinvigorate some feelings that some of the base had against Obama. And only time will tell, will it trigger some of the Republican base to be angry again about about Obama, which is really a non-issue. But it is, in my opinion, just as you may believe it to be, it is a distraction. It is to, take the attention off the Epstein files that they're not wanting to release. And let's blame it for something, for allegedly trying to steal the election. And that's the way I see it.
You know what I'm starting to believe, guys, and I started thinking about this. I'm thinking that this could be worse than we thought it was in terms of Trump's involvement with Epstein. I'm thinking to this level of vigor that they're putting into this. I've never seen this level of shenanigans. So it's starting to make me think that it's worse than what we may have even thought. We knew he was involved or implicated or something was going on. What do you think, Reggie, about that? Do you think that?
I believe, I believe you're absolutely right, first of all. And secondly, alluding to what Myneca just said, it's grasping at straws. I'm just, you get to the point you just get so tired every time you see any of the representatives in the cabinet now. Everything is always Obama's fault. Everything is Biden's fault. Here they've been in now for 7 months and stuff like that. Leading up to tying it all together, it's just, you just get sick of it. It's like you're overly saturated with it.
Yes.
The base is they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna protect them. I don't believe there's anything this man can do that's gonna make some people in the base deviate. The clip that you just showed, they're gonna be covering for Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. He's gonna keep doing what he's doing. But you see now there are some fractures in their armor because, quite a few Republicans are coming out against it. But I'm just tired of the whole thing. And we know what the deal is. And you know what? Let me just say this. What makes it more ironic is the fact that it's really a self-inflicted wound. Think back 2 years ago, the whole time Biden was in the administration, anything came up, Trump's argument then was that Biden and Obama didn't do what they needed to do about Jeffrey Epstein. And now look at it. Now he wants everybody to just forget it because he knows he's fully implemented. His name is going to be all over that report.
Right.
And that's why it magically, what was the cereal campaign magically disappears with the little leprechaun.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just grateful to God that we have enough intelligent people still in this world that can really counter and offset the ignorance of those people in MAGA who, no matter what is coming down the pipe, they still are going to support this man, only because I believe in their heart of hearts, they're too embarrassed to ever acknowledge they were bamboozled, hoodwinked, and taken for a ride by the biggest con man of all times.
Now, and this is what I'm thinking about, Bishop. This is what I was really thinking about. We're forced to talk about it because of where this comes from. This is because we're dealing with a president, a sitting president. Anything that happens trickles down, whether we like it or not. It affects our lives just by being Americans. But what I want to ask you, Bishop, is as far as we go, do we continue to? Are we in a position where we must address these things? Does ignore it? Because my concern is ignoring it just gives more permission for authoritarianism to take place and fascism to take place. I think complacency in the democracy is the death of democracy. I had an argument today with another one of our colleagues in ministry, and he wanted to try to say, well, the Bible says that, you know, you shouldn't be talking against your leaders and rulers. And my answer was, we are a government by the people, for the people, of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the ruling authority in the United States is the rule of law and the people.
The people.
The president works for us, not the other way around. And I told him, nice try, you know, but we know that you will stand up for your Lord and King, you know, but if you want to use your definition of submitting and respecting authority, we should be respecting the Constitution and the will of the people in the United States. Tell me what you got on that one, Bishop. What you got?
Well, first and foremost, I want us to understand that corruption within mankind is nothing new. It's all throughout the scripture. We understand that political leadership is put in place by the will of God in order to bring us to the next place. And when we say, and we've been saying it for, you know, since I've been alive, we're living in the last days. I believe that he is in place to bring us even closer to the last days. Now, here's what I will say. The whole premise of the people, for the people, by the people it means that there has to be a level of accountability. We have allowed this particular individual to be unaccountable for anything that he has done that is contradictory to the law of the land. We talk about the Constitution. We talk about, you know, what I would like to say is, unless and until the Constitution is real and valid and applied to all people, don't tell me about a Constitution, because then it is a lie. Okay? So and we have this thing where we always want to go to the Constitution. Well, the Constitution is great, but until we, and I'm talking about us, people who look like us, until we are given all the benefits of that same Constitution, I don't want to hear about it. Now, our problem is we want to, you know, we're looking for a better day. We're saying, okay, we got to show up for the midterms. We got to do this. We got to do that. But I'm going to tell you the truth. Now is the time to apply pressure. When the Court of Public Appeal, which is the people, start murmuring, this is when things start to happen. As long as we keep silent, he is going to have a field day with this. He is not going to be accountable. He's going to run his smoke screens, and he's going to divert attention to something else, like he's trying to do with this Obama thing. Now, here we are. We have to point the finger. I mean, we all sin, but dag nabbit, you know, when are we going to realize that we're condoning, as a nation, we're condoning this man's sin every time we let him get away with stuff. My scripture tells me that we should not be partakers in another man's sin. My scripture tells me that we are duty bound to stand on righteousness and truth. But what do you do when a stone cold, bold-faced liar is in office?
Yes.
See, I'm not scared. See, because my life is not my own. So they can do whatever they want to do with me. I'm not going to candy coat things to appease them and make them feel better in their hypocrisy. I'm not going to do that. But see, until we as people, and this includes the Republican Party, who's already scratching its head, we have to apply pressure, not just Democrats, not just Republicans, but everybody. Apply pressure. Tell the truth. And when we fact check, and we know what happens when we fact check this guy.
Right.
The math ain't math in there. Okay? Yeah. But when we fact check, we got to hold him to the facts. You see, he is a master at the art of delusion, illusion, and shifting your attention to something else. This is what he does. Okay? He will throw a rock, hide his hand, and then he'll say the other guy 2 miles away did it. Okay? And so now we have to say, hey, listen, no, let's be real. Let's put our big boy pants on. But on a nationwide level, this just goes to show that Klan mentality is still alive and well.
Alive and well. Amen.
I started thinking about this. I started thinking that we're going to need MAGA to take down MAGA. I think this is one of those things that you cannot deal with MAGA from the outside. It's going to come from within inside the house, and I believe that. I believe that. And I think what's going on now. Right. That's what I was going to say. I think that this is something that gives us an eye into how that can happen, because once the internal revolt takes place, because that they have now reached a point of no return, of feeling about how lied to they've been and how deceived they've been, that to me feels like the biggest factor in MAGA being able to be dealt with, because anything else, the cry from outside the house doesn't work. It only hardens MAGA. But within the house now, all of the podcasters, they're split. Some are trying to keep the talking points, but others are saying, you're not giving us what you promised. Would you all agree with that thought?
Amen. Yes.
Yeah, how are they going to give us what they promised? Okay. All right. You have somebody who is a known. Just his last administration, I believe the count was he told over 10,000 lies. I believe that was the count. 10,000 lies. Okay, knowingly.
Right.
All right. My question to MAGA is, if you know that there's a fact checker, and you know that he's been caught not once, not twice, but 10,000 times.
Right.
If the person looked like you or me, they would be behind bars. Okay, but
a long time ago.
So this is why I say Klan mentality is alive and well. These people are allowing each other to do damage so that they can get back to a position where they don't really have to deal with us.
Right.
And people,
right.
Okay. And we're so caught up in the political thing that we're not watching what's really happening. This is a shell game that's going on.
Right.
And we got to find a little P under the shell. All right.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that the P is us. Okay. So what's that house brother's name? I'm not gonna call him what I want to call him. But he got called out last week, making some stupid remarks, trying to defend that which cannot be defended.
Mm-hmm.
From down south there, what's his name? Tim Scott, I believe his name is.
Tim Scott, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, and they're always going to try to get somebody that looks like us,
Right.
to side with them,
right?
You know, and to try to make it. No. We know who you are, okay?
Right.
And
that's
why I'm saying if we're going to have forward momentum, we're going to have to understand what we need to do as a people, separate and apart from this nation.
Right.
See?
Right.
Because this nation has meant us nothing but harm from its inception.
Right. Right.
And if we're too stupid to understand that, we get into the political thing, and we do. And Madam Mayor, I respect you completely, but what I'm talking about is we talk about making little things. No. Because the younger generation is not going to have it anymore.
They're not. Amen.
Okay. The younger generation is sitting here looking at people in our age bracket saying, "Are you stupid?"
I think this is what they're trying to suppress, though. I think when you're looking at MAGA in particular, and some in the Democratic Party, actually marginalizing the next generation of leaders. I think we're looking at the people from our group actually trying to delay the next generation's ascent, into influence and power.
It's not going to happen.
Let me jump in here, because I think that oftentimes that as a people, we believe and we put our faith in the younger people. Mm-hmm. But what really works is what the younger people learn from the older people.
Yes.
And that's why sometimes generational outbursts, or, the younger people may scream and yell in a performative manner. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they're going to revert back. That's the reason why you don't never see a lot of progress in terms of racial healing in our societies, is because those lessons are still continuing to move from culture to another. Right. And what's problematic for me is that we don't see the change. But the fact is that we really have not evolved in this country. And the fact is that the current status quo practices actually work. They can still maintain, because 80% of the country is 60-70% is still a white male dominated nation, and their women follow suit. African Americans, Latino Americans, immigrants coming to this country sometimes perpetuate that practice by wanting to be in the in group. And so therefore, they're not going to stand up to, to rock the boat, so to speak. But what is problematic for me is that we're losing ground globally as a nation. We're losing ground economically. Our education systems is not the top anymore. Our arrest records, so on and so forth. We're actually losing
the talent away. And now we're chasing the talent away. Right.
And now the talent, is taken away, and it's going to implode. And you did make one point that people in this country that really needs to come to arms with what's going on and really have to rectify the situation in terms of racial relationships so that we can survive as a country is going to have to be white men and white women. They're going to have to do it. It's not up to Black people to say, "Oh, we're this good, and we're just as talented, and we're just as educated. So therefore, we should expect to get everything that we want.
Right.
The fact is that this country, at the base of it, is there is a belief that this country is for white males and white females.
Yes.
And that is what drives the MAGA movement.
Yes.
But I also want to say there's a small subset of that needs to not be ignored when we're talking about Epstein, because it reverts back to the QAnon belief that pedophilia is a bad thing. Okay? But yet and still, in this country, we have seen the Trump administration move away from banning childhood marriages in many of these countries. No one has done this nationally. There are only 13 states in the United 13 states that allow for men and women, boys and girls, to be married at the age of 18. Oklahoma, New Mexico, and California has no age minimum. If an adult parent signs off for their child to get married, I can sign my 11-year-old daughter to marry someone if I live in Oklahoma and if I live in New Mexico, and surprisingly in California. And I'm not certain why California is even in that group. I can see Oklahoma, super red state. But then this is where you're going to have your major movements of people, because it's super red. But then they have this on the offset. They're saying we don't want our children to be abused sexually, and they're going against what they believe may have happened with Jeffrey Epstein and these 14-year-old girls. Okay, so. A lot to do with patriarchy, which is the white males, European males' way of really controlling women in society. And because, most African societies are matriarchal as opposed to a patriarchal society. But that's really dictated by European Christianity, that patriarchy is at the moment here. And it goes to biology, and I know that it does, that men as a creature are attracted to women of childbearing age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I jump in for 1 minute? But see, this is what I need help, clarity of understanding. I am just totally undone that here in the United States of America, that we can even have a Jeffrey Epstein be comfortable enough to do what he did for so long, with all of these powerful men being, connected to him and being a part of his pedophilia circle of debauchery and all that kind of stuff. This stuff has been going on for a long time. We all know that. But what the greater question is, what kind of society are we that man could feel comfortable enough to be so openly out with this stuff? And it has been going on for years. 20 years ago, they showed those pictures. Almost 30 years ago, they showed the pictures of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. And some of those shows, we keep saying 14, some of those young girls were 12 years old. And don't forget, this is the same man that looked at his own daughter. I mean, see, maybe I'm just because I'm from down south.
Because Reggie, we are a nation that values money and power and celebrity over everything else.
Yeah.
So because that is our social construct, you're gonna get this. Because wherever the value systems lie, you will then see all of the priority place. So there's going to be more priority in protecting the guilty because of where the guilty sit. The guilty are rich, powerful, and famous. So they get all of the benefits of the value system, not of what's right and wrong. They get the benefits of what we value as a nation.
The covering of the legal system, because the legal system allows them. You got so many black men in jail right now because somebody said they just looked at a young lady.
Because they're not rich nor powerful.
Because they're not rich. Because they're not rich.
We can do it, but you can't do it. And I also want to say that it's not just girls. We've got to put our boys in here too. Our boys are being just as impacted as women worldwide, and in this country as well. We need to look at this aside, because if we are the most evolved species, then we should be at a point where there are limits to what we can do. I cannot marry my brother, I can't have more than one husband. Those are laws. Why aren't there laws in all of these states that allows it? Why have we not banned childhood marriage in the country, in Congress?
Exactly.
But
they've demanded it back.
Well, because there are backdoor deals concerning children getting married. There are backdoor deals with famous and powerful, families in terms of who's going to marry who to preserve their wealth. So if they were going to make these laws, they're basically going to be messing up their own power structure. That's how they see it.
That's sick. This is sick.
I don't know how that plays in the power structure, but why would you want to marry a 14-year-old boy?
Because many of these young people in these powerful families are told what they're going to do, and
they're 18, right?
Not when you're dealing in the country, because we have to remember how much Southern wealth exists outside of black people in the South, or in the these descendants of slave owners or whatever, of industry gone by, or just generational wealth. I will refrain from naming the family so I don't get a letter, but but there is a powerful family in the United States that is known for intermarrying. A couple of them that are known for intermarrying within the family and underage marriage and things like that have taken place.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Go ahead, Madam Mayor.
I think I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
I want us to realize something. That the United States of America, in its own bold statement, says that it is a quote unquote Christian nation. Okay. And although the country is made up of every religion there is. But I want us to understand something. Unless and until this country can stand for righteousness, not self-righteousness, not this particular group's way of thinking, but true righteousness, we don't have anything to say. We cannot judge other nations. We cannot condemn other nations, and we certainly cannot make a claim that we're Christian when we continue in the sin of racism, and other things, and things that I may or may not agree with morally, but we can't do it. All right. So once we as a people understand that, and we get to the point where we make a determination that we're going to stand on righteousness. See, righteousness should have had that man tried for treason. Righteousness should have thwarted that whole movement 5 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. That's what righteousness should have done.
Well, I'm looking at you, Merrick Garland. I'm looking at you, Merrick Garland. We needed you to come through.
Merrick Garland. Righteousness is subjective, so I think we have to
It seems to be
determine
quite
what that is.
subjective in the United States, Myneca.
I'm going to ask
Seems to
you
be
a
quite
question. Okay.
I'm only talking the United States now. I know Colombia just
right. No,
they
no,
did a
yeah, in the United States.
not marry child.
Right.
I'm only
Yep.
talking about the United States because I know it's different in every country because they're evolved differently from us. But if we can't do the basics by protecting our children, but yet and still on the flip side, we're going to talk about Epstein
Right.
and all of these people engaging in pedophilia because of their main attraction to children.
How?
And the access to them, then we are
Yeah, and
spinning a two-headed coin.
it's not just the attraction to children; it was the hunting of children. They were hunting them and recruiting them. So that's the really bad part about this is that they were seeking them out. No, and that's what Ghislaine is in prison for. She was the chief. She was the chief scout. Right. Exactly. So we're looking at that. I want to play a quick clip though.
Archbishop had a question.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I just want to. I was just saying that we have to, if we're going to say that we're so righteous, then we have to start doing the right thing. And this is what I mean by the people have to put the pressure on the Senate and the Congress, but it's not happening. Okay. Well, and the reason why it's not happening is because they go in with good intentions that they're going to represent their people, but they get a taste of the pie.
Yeah.
Okay. And the taste of the pie, well, I'd rather, have my own pocket and have for myself than represent you. Okay. And every time these politicians go back, I've seen it time and time again. I've been on this earth for a while. They come back with excuses why things haven't been done. No, the real reason why things haven't been done is because you sold out.
You sold out. Exactly.
So there's nothing righteous, we're trying to do. No, you're not. No, you're not. And some but the majority, they're in it for what they can get.
That's it.
They're not in there for you. They're in there for what they can get. And until we wisen up and put powerhouses, and I have to, I love to watch her, like Crockett and a few others. Until we've had that Senate and that Congress with people like that, we're going to have a hard way to go. And I'm not just talking black. I'm talking about people who are going to come up with the hard facts. Hey, wait a minute. This is the way it is. How is this smokescreen over here, real when you're hear the facts? Why aren't we doing that? That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm going to play a quick clip of Toni Morrison. I think he put it best, and I'm going to I want you guys to check this out because this makes a lot of sense. And
therapy. I don't know why more of America isn't talking about this. And leave black people alone and not let your insanity drive us insane, because that's what you're trying to do.
George Fraser.
And they have done a very good job. So I have come to the conclusion as a 70-year-old black man living in America, we cannot fix white people. We haven't been able to fix them in 400 years. White people must fix white people. This is what Toni Morrison said. Y'all got to fix yourself. We can't fix you. We have failed. But we can fix ourselves. That's the most important thing. We can undo over time some of the damage done to us by their insanity. And we are damaged goods. I don't have to explain that to you, right? So we are damaged goods, and we need to work on us. We can fix us. In fact, white folks are not going to fix us.
That's right.
Who are white folks going to fix? White folks. Asians are going to fix Asians. East Indians are working on East Indians. Arabs are working on Arabs. Our Jewish brothers and sisters are working on their issues and their people. We have to spend our time working on us. And there is much work to do.
So I wanted to play that because I think that really well encapsulates this. Is that we are a people that are sitting here subject to all of this foolishness that is not of our origin. And I had to say this to a white bishop, and what I did is I told him, and I sent him this clip. I said, "This is where I stand today." I said, "You're gonna have to fix yourselves. Stop making messes. Stop making messes, and then wanting black people to do the cleanup work, and then you want to coerce us by quoting Martin Luther King." Right. I agree with this whole assessment that I just played. I wanted to close the topic on that because I think that's going to be the important thing moving forward. We're going to continue to monitor these things because this affects our families, the food on our table, and things like that. But I think if we proceed with the understanding that they need to fix themselves, that's why I said MAGA is going to have to take down MAGA.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing on the outside that's going to take it down. It'll only harden and grow the more we yell and rail against it. I want to take a quick break, and then we will come back on the other side, and we're going to talk about a couple other things here.
Introducing our small business Make More Save More package from Payments Factory. Increase your business revenue by offering your customers more options of when and how to pay. Surveys show that 35% of small business customers are interested in paying by text to their phone. That number almost doubles to 62% of people under the age of 35 who prefer to pay by text message. Our Make More Save More package allows you to send payment requests to your customers via text message and email, all while eliminating complex credit card processing fees with this simplified program. In addition, you have access to next-day funding, real-time reporting of all transactions and payments, and 24/7 access to your online merchant portal and statements. Our free terminal program is available to merchants that meet certain qualifications and would like to take in-person payments via chip cards and contactless payments, such as Google Pay and Apple Pay. Act now to also receive a $25 dining certificate redeemable for 6 months worth of digital savings coupons at your favorite chain restaurants, or $25 certificate to visit and support a local favorite restaurant. Speak to a representative today to see how Payments Factory can help you increase your bottom line. Schedule an appointment to learn more about this program and how we can help your small business to make more and save more today.
Payments Factory is a subsidiary of Diadem Technologies. We're really proud of all of our partnerships with banks all over the country, all the top tier processors and top tier payment technology companies. So check out paymentsfactory.co, and our professionals will be able to assist you whether you're a merchant that's established or starting a new business. So thank you. Well, guys, I want to move on to the next thing, and I did want to talk a bit about culture today, so let's get to that. We had a heck of a week over the past 10 days. A CEO who is an astronomer found himself front and center with his girlfriend, who was not his wife, as he is married, at a Coldplay concert in front of thousands of people. And my goodness, Chris Martin was operating prophetically, the lead singer of Coldplay. When he came up on the video, and the prophetic spirit hit him, and he called it out. What was going on? My goodness. Let's just stop right there, and I'm gonna play it. If you haven't seen it, here you go. But I'm sure you probably know all about it because the memes are just fire all over the So here we go.
Executive Andy Byron has resigned after a kiss cam moment showing him embracing an employee during a Coldplay concert became a viral sensation. In a statement posted to LinkedIn, the company wrote, "Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met." The statement also said its board of directors has accepted Byron's resignation. Astronomer co-founder and chief product officer Pete DeJoy is serving as interim CEO while the board searches for a replacement, according to the Post.
There you go. So he yelled up into the stands and said, "Oh, what happened when they ducked?" And we all have seen it. When he ducked, he said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "Oh, maybe they're having an affair or something." I mean, the prophetic anointing, as we like to say in church, came upon him, and he called it out. And right after, the wife, she took her last name off of her social media profile. And I think she had just come out with some statement recently. I'm not very.
I don't know if that's real though.
Adept on it, right? Yeah. I think Snopes had put out something about it. Mm-hmm. So, guys, I mean, we got to talk about this. I mean, I mean, it's all in our face, and here, what's now? We talk about what's now, So this is now. It's so big, and they said the Simpsons called this in 2016 again. But guys, I'm one of those people that I've lived a very public life at one time, being an entertainer or being in music. I've lived in a business environment, in high places, plenty of employees and partners coming through,
exactly,
and things like that. But I have a motto of staying close to my wife.
Amen. Yes.
Sometimes it gets on people's nerves. They see us together all the time, but that's what you're going to get.
Right.
And you have to be mindful of what you're putting yourself in position to do. So I'm going to let our leaders here have something to say, because there's a lesson in here somewhere. And I think I'm going to let the mayor. I'm going to lean on the mayor.
Yeah, I have a couple of
to tell us.
A couple of thoughts here, and you all can bring in your prophetic thought on this. But I have to say one thing. Number one, Chris Martin, he said, "Oh, they're either very shy or having an affair." And that camera stayed right on them the entire time. So that, what this tells me is that God don't like ugly, and karma is a
okay?
Yes, yes, Lord.
And this tells me that this man and this woman in the workplace, because my diversity and equity and inclusion HR experience is telling me, oh my God, this is a tragedy. When I saw that he was CEO of a company called Osbourne, okay, and that's the chief people's officer. It was determined that the person next to him was not the HR vice president, by the way. So that was not her. That was someone else that was there. But this is a culture of, again, people that are in position acting badly. And I can only imagine the level of decisions that were being made, because when this story came out, some of the former employees or people that have worked with the CEO said, this is the kind of person that he's a shyster, he's done this, he's done that. And then there was talk about her incredible moves into the position to become a chief people's officer. And she was like, being promoted leaps and bounds. So there are a lot of more implications to this beyond the marriage. The wife will be fine. The children look like they're of age. And so she wouldn't have to rely on him, too much longer to support them, maybe outside of college or so on and so forth. But, the woman looks like she's, she's fairly okay, the CEO's wife. And it's probably very embarrassing to her. And I don't blame her for taking her name off here, but she will not be crushed. She'll go through this little, a transition for a while, and she'll walk away with, some good money and maybe some, whatever her situation is. And she's probably maybe even honestly grateful that this may be happening. But what happened to him and what happened to her, because I believe she's in a relationship as well with a very famous man, Andrew Cabot.
Yeah, the other woman, right? The HR
woman that he's holding on to. Yeah,
right.
So I heard, so I kind of went in depth with that, but that's like an HR nightmare. So he was really asked to resign. She's still on the website. Last time I checked. But it won't be but a matter of time that she's asked to go too.
Because it's going to be gone, yes.
It takes two to tango. Exactly. But what happens when you are the CEO of the company is that anyone that's working with you under you is your subordinate. And so then it will become into play. Well, I had to do it. And I've seen women, honestly, I don't want to say lie, but they lie and say that I was forced to do it to keep the job and so on. And so, I mean, there's just so many implications that can come out of that. And then all the people that didn't get those promotions or had some level of inequity happen to them in the workplace, all of a sudden lawsuits are going to be coming out. I mean, so the company had to get rid of the CEO. He was irresponsible. Absolutely. He was stupid. And that, but I also want to talk about the embrace of her at this conference and how he was embracing her with the rock and this, that, and the other. That was more sexual in nature than it was, I'm in love with this woman and everything. It's more like, I'm going to tap it after the conference type thing, and I just, have to put it that way. So it wasn't worse. Conference.
No, he's real.
I mean, to the concert, to get caught like that. But karma will get you every time. All of these people that are doing something bad, trust me, it will come out. Everything comes out in the wash. And that's what I have to say about that.
I think we got one of the lessons, y'all. I think we got one of the lessons. Reggie, you're in the arts, entertainment. You know all about concert cuddling.
When that story broke, let me tell you, it really made my day, and it just it confirms in my spirit, God definitely has a sense of humor. Because who would have ever thunk in a stadium with 40,000 people, out of all the people for the camera to go on, who's so into the music, like Myneca said, swaying and rocking back,
it's the swaying part that got everybody.
and you could, like she said, it was so sensual and sexual because both of them, wait till we leave here. It's on and popping. But it just blows my mind, like Myneca said, at the end of the day, not only does God have a sense of humor, but, like the Bible says, what goes on in the dark will come to light. Now, here it is, this man in such a powerful, powerful position, making such a, just outrageously high salary. He thought he was on top of the world. He thought he was untouchable. And like Myneca said, I saw the same thing, looked into the story. He has done a lot of crooked, dirty, underhanded things. But when it comes back to your front door, front and center, in live, vivid color for the whole world to see, now his children and his children's children and his children's children's children, for both of them, they will be able to pull up this and see this, what happened. And then you look at the wife. Now, the wife, like I said, she is not only going to be okay, but she doesn't even have to go to court and say one word. All she got to do is say, play the tape. And no judge in this country will not give her everything that she asked for, plus make it a punitive thing, because he was just so bold with his stuff. I mean, and like I said, and the sad irony is this, alluding to what you said, Darryl, within the entertainment thing, the circuit and within the industry as a whole, the reality is they were both using each other. They didn't care about each other. It was not a love thing. You know exactly what I'm saying. This was just, like I said, the flavor of the week, and you're the latest conquest, you're the latest whatever groupie and all that kind of stuff. So I can assure you right now, they probably have both blocked each other's phone number, don't want to see each other again. So all of that swaying in the wind now has been like blown away. And like I said, I was truly amused by this. And like I said, in all the content, when you're on stage, like I said, it's so difficult, like I said, if you're in arenas, to see the audience. But they were like in a stadium, so you can really see people. But I don't know, and I'm also wondering, is there any other story behind the story? Did the wife get information that they would be there, and she bribed the cameraman to scout them out and find them? Like that? I'm serious. The camera stayed on them too long.
My Lord, my Lord.
I taught my children a little saying, they were little, if you mess up, fess up, and let's keep going. But X and X, you keep it moving. Because there's no way that cameraman just happened. Okay, you see a couple rocking, you might just like at a baseball game or whatever else, you'll pan on them and then you just go right away. But to just lock in on them, and he's gonna be stupid enough because he realized the camera was staying. You've already seen, I would have played it off. I would have stood up there like, yeah, like I said, we just in the moment. But they made it obvious that they were doing something illicit. They made it obvious that they had no business being there together. And they made it obvious that they both had lied to their partners, saying they had to work late, but they were at a concert. And so now the whole world has seen it. But that was just too funny. That one, I feel for their children on both sides. But the wife, she's going to be, oh my God. I'm going to have to try to find one of my buddies who can hook up with the wife, because she's going to be sitting real pretty real soon.
Woo! Oh, she's bad. I know she's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you.
The embarrassment, though. The embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the wife is better than the chief people officer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And in a situation like that. And Darryl, let me just say this before Archbishop come in. That's another thing, like I said, I've mentioned this on a previous broadcast, but I learned that from Billy Graham. One thing is, within my family, I've always prided myself on the concept of never bring shame to the name of the family or shame to the name of Jesus. Because no matter where I go, my wife will tell you all the time, people always asking my wife, don't you be concerned, Reggie be traveling here, going there, all that stuff like that. Because Denise chooses not to go. And Denise always said, I know where he sleeps and I know where the bank book is. So whatever else he want to do, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the reality is, Billy Graham said it best. You never allow yourself as being a man and an alleged perceived man of God, a man who's supposed to be steeped in principles and morals and values. I never allow myself, even to this day, when I go, like I said, when I'm at the church or whatever like that, I will not let no one come into my, in my setting and stuff like that, or in my space without somebody else being present. I won't be in the office and let no lady come in there. I don't care if they just want to ask a quick question. I don't open the door until I have somebody else there to be a witness, because you have to guard your reputation and you have to really, like I said, present yourself faultless and all that. Even though we're sinners saved by grace, I'm just not gonna allow myself to be put in such a public position like that.
Yeah, yeah, Bishop.
But that's funny.
Yes, yes.
Archbishop.
I noticed a couple of things. Number one, the age difference was very noticeable.
Another pedophile.
Yeah.
What age? What age difference?
Because he
They
looked
talking
like
about
he was.
the same age.
Yeah, they kind of look the same age,
They the
Bishop.
same age.
He had some braids like I do, and she looked much younger than that.
No,
Yeah, she
no,
was great
she's not.
too.
You need to look at her closely. She's same age.
Oh, but let me make her real quick though. Let me throw this in there. On her profile, it says that she gains the trust of CEOs.
I wonder how.
They're the same age.
True.
Yeah. So you know, but there's a thing of appropriate and inappropriate behavior, and that was just inappropriate, and it cost them. Now, we've already had the moral, ethical, arguments. Here's the thing. Bottom line is that this guy is not going to be phased.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's got egg on his face, but he's going to wipe it off.
Oh yeah,
because he lives in a society. He lives in a society where that is number one, condoned, number two, promoted and accepted, and number three is, now now there is a record of him being the quote unquote big dog. Okay. So society can say one thing, but the reality is what happened was wrong. It should not have happened. They should not have been there. The fact that you all are saying, and because I don't know the story that well, I'm going to be honest with you, is that she rose to her position rather rapidly. Tells me, that reveals a few things. She
has a ministry to CEOs.
Come on, somebody. Comfort ministry.
Yeah.
She said that rod and nightstand.
One of the yes. One of the funniest scenes in a movie. Most people do not know this, so I'm gonna try and give you all an idea. But what happened was the cardinal. This is from Romeo Must Die or something like that. It's a Heath Ledger movie from way back, a comedy, and when the cardinal was coming to town, he came in the horse and carriage, and the cardinal comes out, of course, in his red Cossack and everything, and then right behind him is this sexy whatever. She's coming out behind him, and they looked at him with the look, and he went, "My nurse."
He would take care of me.
My nurse, okay. Oh my God! I'm going to look at that again. I remember that scene.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So, what?
They're gonna learn.
Well, with a good public relations representative and a fixer, I'm sure he'll be back on his feet in no time with double the salary, a golden parachute, and stock options. I pretty much have seen these things play out. Yeah. Yes. I into this issue of some impropriety, we can't bury this, that Shannon Sharpe settled his lawsuit.
Did
he settled, and 2 days later, the young lady posted to all of her friends and fans on OnlyFans is that she's retiring.
You know what? He
That
is such
must
a
have
fool.
been one heck of a payday.
And she's just 21 years old.
She's done. She's set for life, I'm sure.
But you know what? And he's set too, but he's not set for life, because at the end of the day, it's just crazy as crazy can be. Like I said, when we talked about that, when that story broke and stuff like that, it'll cost you more than you want to pay, keep you longer than you want to stay, take you down halls what everybody knows. Whatever that little saying, I can't get it right now. But that, for somebody who wasn't even worth it, and how many people warned him about that? And so anytime you settle, he has forever lost his integrity. He's lost the respect of a multitude of fans and people who supported him. And the reality is, I dare say, in the society we live in, because he is a black man, I guarantee you he won't be getting no golden parachute. I guarantee you ESPN won't be putting him back on their airways anytime soon. And I would even stretch it and go as far as to say, even his podcast,
Well, Reggie, I've been monitoring that,
right.
And
nobody's going to want to get nothing else
I
to
think
say.
he retired, didn't he?
He's not lost any viewers. No,
He's not lost any viewers.
He is not lost. His numbers are holding, and
well, I think people were waiting to see what was going to happen.
Yeah, and
once
even on Nightcap,
he settled. I think they will be impacted once everybody realized he did settle and pay this girl off. I mean, the look how she looked. I mean, my God, had nothing.
I mean, just to give you all context, I was just on watching Nightcap because I do watch it for the the sports commentary conversation. But 6 days ago, he had just a short clip. One of his chop ups has 250,000 views. That's not even the main video.
Exactly.
And his Club Shay Shay podcast is still holding its original numbers. So I think what happens, and we can talk about this in a broader discussion one day. But as it comes down to the issues of branding and all of those types of things. Mm-hmm. Now, some of his more recent ones, he did one with 2 Chainz. He still got 1 million views on that while the scandal was out. He just dropped one recently with Flau'jae Johnson, and she's at 2,400,000 views 7 days ago. We know that is going to continue to rise. So he still has the value that sponsors are going to come back.
Wow,
that's what I thought.
Well, I wish him well, but he's forever lost.
Well, you're gonna lose people, right? He's gonna lose, but in the aggregate, maybe he's gained some. You never know, because part of his branding was that he had a messy life to begin with. If you hear the stories before, so if he painted himself to be something different than that, I don't think it will hold. But because he can actually say, "You knew what I was when you started with me," that helps him a buffer. Does that make sense, guys?
It makes sense, but you know what? I just believe, what the Word of God says: "To whom much is given, much is required." And I would just expect, like I said, he's forever lost me as a supporter and a fan. And I don't, everything he has done, as far as his professional career, to me is null and void now, because I would never in any circle allow myself to be, in a conversation or, like I said, I don't even want to speak to the brother just passing, just X and X, like I said. Because to be at such a lofty place, and what offends me more than anything else, he did all of this, for somebody who doesn't even look. I mean, all the beautiful, wonderful, amazing Black sisters out here. He has to give a great portion of his wealth to, I'm going to be very, to some young.
Don't make me have to edit.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. Right on time, boy. But to know that this woman, and like you said, she posted that she's retiring. I guarantee you she got enough money for her mom and dad to be doing okay too.
Well, she worked hard for this, Reggie. That's what she's saying.
She worked hard for it, all right. Yeah. 21 years old, and she's set for life because of
okay. She put her back into it
because I'm made us go off the air.
Yeah.
So
I
just can't get over how the girl look.
That's what people are saying, but you know, there's something for everybody. They say so.
Yeah. But you know what? That money, like, and that Archbishop can speak on this as well. That money she got is going to go through her hands. You watch. It's not going to cause her the happiness that she thinks she's going to have, and she thinks to be set for life. But what you mete out is going to come back to you too.
Yes.
So it's just
yes.
But
yes.
Like the woman told Marion Barry, I'm gonna say it again. I just want somebody to smack him for being so stupid.
For being stupid. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I'm gonna leave that there.
We'll get into that on another podcast.
Yes. One other thing that we can't let go by is we have lost some people who have been special to us in the public eye. And I want to start with Malcolm Jamal Warner. This seems to really hit everyone in a certain way, because not only of his iconic childhood character that he played well as Theo, but we watched him grow up, and we watched him. We actually watched him handle having been so successful as a child, growing up from being a child actor to actually being everybody says he was just such a good person. I saw his last interview, one of his last interviews, and he said he wanted to be remembered as having been a good person, and he accredited his mom and dad. He has wonderful parents that are still alive, and we send our condolences to them and his wife and children. He was caught in the wave in Costa Rica, a riptide. They said that area was so dangerous that in around 2004, it had 5 drownings in 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it's just a tough situation. They said they actually increased the lifeguard presence there before, but it still needs a lot of improvement. So we do want to give some honor to him, and we also want to give some notice and some notoriety to Ozzie Osbourne. Ozzie Osbourne, aka the Prince of Darkness. And don't worry, guys, we're still Christians here. But Ozzie is a major cultural impact person long before the reality show. Ozzie Osbourne is one of the fathers of heavy metal, and probably accredited to be almost the father of heavy metal. We know more from his show on the Osbournes, which he was the most comedic character there. He could be extremely funny. But his story is very compelling because he actually had been living with Parkinson's. He was deteriorating. He was coming to terms with his immortality, with his mortality. I'm sorry, and he did his last concert with them, and then he died. He did the last concert just I think a couple weeks ago, and it was with the group that made him famous. And in the hometown of Birmingham, in England, where it was not the town where he was born. So what an ending. But what can we say, guys, about these two cultural icons? Reggie, I'm gonna let you go first since you're the.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be very brief because both of these gentlemen really were very impactful in our lives, and I believe everyone felt Theo was like our kid brother, some people big brother, cousin, or whatever. And not only was he, such an amazing young man, it's very difficult for children actors to transition into adulthood and still maintain, their presence within the, arena of acting. And I'm matter of fact looking at a show on Netflix right now, a series on Netflix, where he, is a part of it. He's also a part of Watson with the guy from Boys in the Hood and all that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
how can I forget his
Chestnut.
name?
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, Morris Chestnut, right?
Yes.
So, I'm just amazed at them. And it's just to God be the glory for the life well lived. And he will forever, it's just such a young man who's done phenomenal things. And then you all may not be aware of this, but I just saw a few videos. He's been very active as an activist, speaking on, Black Lives Matter and other social inequities and things like that. And I've been seeing quite a few clips of that lately over the last, few weeks. I've been, a friend of mine was telling me about some of the things he was doing. And then just to find out on Sunday that he passed away, and then we get that notice on Monday morning, it just blew us away. And so may he rest in eternal peace. And the same thing with Ozzie. Some people may not have liked his music, but I love the fact that he was an amazing singer outside of his arena of the, the rock, heavy metal, and all that type of thing. So it's, may they rest in peace, and may their contribution to the industry forever live, and may we always be mindful that we're just passing through, So
Yeah.
Let me turn it over to you all, because I have to say goodbye to my wife. She's getting ready to fly out. So give me 1 second, y'all. Go ahead and do that.
No problem. Bishop, I'm gonna bring you in on that one. They also said that we have to remember he actually navigated and endured the death of his girlfriend Michelle Thomas, if you remember her as Urkel's girlfriend on Family Matters, by which she had stomach cancer, and they were actually broken up, but he was still caring for her, and he was there when she died, and they were together for 6 years. So it's not lost upon me for him to have gone through that. They talk about how devastating it was, and they were very young when that happened, when she passed away. So go ahead, Bishop. I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, there's an old song that says, if I can help somebody along the way, then my living won't be in vain. And I believe that both of these gentlemen helped a lot of people. There are things that we do in life. I mean, Jamal Warner was married twice that I know of, maybe 3 times, but he was also married to Regina King at one point in time.
Right. I think they dated. They didn't marry, but yes, they did date.
Okay. So but the deal is that I don't believe there was anybody that could say anything bad about Malcolm Jamal Warner. In fact, when I remember growing up, the conversations that used to happen on the Cosby Show between Dr. Huxtable and Theo, they were a lot like the conversations my father and I used to have. So,
yes.
And you get to, over the course of time, you not only because of the TV, but because of the life lessons that were shared during those TV journeys. You get to embrace them as family members, and I believe that the community at large, but especially the African American community at large, has lost a tremendous asset in the person of Malcolm Jamal Warner, who spoke out for rights,
Yes.
spoke out for the recognition, establishment, and advancement of Black people, who spoke out about different things that our counterparts have really put out there to try to delude us and bring us off course, and he would bring us back on point. There was a lot of things that he was saying in a couple of speeches that I saw him make on the internet that are directly connected to things that I teach. So he will be missed. Now with Ozzie Osbourne, I'm going to tell you this. I was not into heavy metal, but
surprise.
Yeah.
But Ozzie Osbourne is iconic. I mean, even his music it surpassed heavy metal because it got into the pop arena as well.
Yes, yeah.
And he was a great entertainer. He was a phenomenal singer, like Brother Reggie was saying. Even outside of his genre, he was a tremendous singer, and he was a very well-known philanthropist with a bad mouth.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of charitable things in his life, where he wanted to make a better life for humanity. Mm-hmm. So it will be missed. I pray that the Lord receive their souls, and give them peace. And I know we will all remember both of them fondly.
Yes. Malcolm Jamal Warner, back to him for 1 second, was also a Grammy award-winning musician. People don't know.
That's right. He's a bass player.
So yes, he was a bass player, and
bass
he did win a Grammy in the R&B genre. But yes, and both Ozzie is what we say in the industry. He had it. That's what we said.
He had the it factor. Yeah.
He had it. And even I watched some of that final performance in Birmingham. It's amazing. It was really something to see him. He's 76 years old. His body is now being taken over by the Parkinson's, but he could one, muster up the ability to perform, but he was still as compelling on stage.
Yes.
Even though confined to a chair, he was compelling. So I would say we lost two tremendous talents in their own right. But Myneca, I wanted to bring this to you because think about this. I wanted to throw to you the fact that Malcolm was able to be comfortable in his own skin post the Cosby Show. He did not try to be a big star. He he enjoyed doing his art. Bill Cosby said he would call him because he would be just proud of his performance of whatever it was. And Bill Cosby also said that this feels like Ennis all over again. And for those of you who don't know Ennis, it was the death of Bill Cosby lost a son many years ago. And he said this feels like Ennis to him because Cosby actually did have that relationship with the cast members. That's why they defend him so much in what he's been through. But Myneca, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Yeah, so I think losing Malcolm Jamal Warner, it's devastating to the culture. The Cosby Show, the Cosby brand, period, was iconic. More important for the African American community, the world began to see African Americans in the way that we see each other.
Yeah.
Right.
We see each other in those diverse groups. We have some that are successful. We have middle class, and then we have not so middle class.
Right.
But it showed the Cosby Show in itself that included the only son, Malcolm, that was played by Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yes.
It represented strength, stability, and love. And that is what that brand brought to us. And Malcolm Jamal Warner, in his role, having him gone from this earth, means that there is somehow a tear in that tapestry.
Yes.
That is so just unimaginable in terms of the positivity that it brought to the American public. So when you say that we have lost a brother, we've lost a little brother, big brother, just depending on where you are in the age range. When I heard about that, and I have been aware of many of the successes that he's had since the Cosby Show. And remember, this is 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It immediately takes you back to when this show began and how you began to see all the actors in that show portray this successful, Black, stable family. And really, in this regard, it made us show what we could be.
Yes.
Right.
When there was representation. I mean, it made me, it took me to a place as well, because it made me begin to appreciate art.
Yeah.
Appreciate the jazz, because I could look and I can see the walls. My walls currently now have art. I'm currently, Black art. It was so profound what it brought to them. But most importantly, those young children, those young actors that worked under Bill Cosby, they all turned out very well.
They did all right.
All turned out stable.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing that I can say except that there is a hole there. Mm-hmm. But what he played in his role as Theo will be forever etched in our hearts.
Yes.
And it's American iconic. And of course, Ozzie Osbourne, he's just super huge. And we've been able to see him transition from this heavy metal artist, back in the day when we were in high school, to this reality star, which I began to understand his family more as a result of that. To later stage.
And a lovable family man. We don't want to dismiss that part. He was a lovable.
Exactly. He was a family man as well. He had 2 children, and he was there with the family and very engaged in the family too. So so we have lost a lot. So when you talk about culture, definitely culture has been impacted in the last few days with these tremendous losses. Yes. And just my condolences. Yes. Really to not only his family, his wife and children who are tragically impacted by this, his parents who are now having to bury I believe he's an only child. Mm-hmm. And I just look at some of the videos because there's been so much attention on this. But then I began to start getting emails and texts and, just things that how he supported the HBCUs doing for Virginia State University, how his father was an HBCU alum, how he spoke, how he did spoken word. So he was contributing to the culture in a way that, that wasn't big and it wasn't loud. It was just consistent.
And very consistent.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. So he talked about in one of his last things, his struggle with hopelessness. And, you know, he's an empath. Has to be, because it was probably have something to do with the election, but I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. But I believe he tapped into mankind in a way that he could best articulate his talent to support. And I'll thank him for that. And I just thank him as a person for being there. And it was tragic. And and just a reminder of all of us that goes overseas, Bishop Chase, and you know this very well. Once you go onto somebody else's land, don't expect the same type of luxuries and, you know, safety protocols as you do in the country that we live in.
Right.
Because Costa Rica, I've been to Costa Rica, and I've been to some of the nicer resorts, a nice, very nice resort there. Those beaches are public beaches. The minute you walk off the resort property, you're on a public beach. You're going to get people coming up to you, trying to sell you something, trying to sell you excursions, and this, that, and the other. And I believe, I believe it was a volunteer thing. It was just a tragic thing. But even if you're not familiar with the area, just be very careful with water. And it's been very difficult for me to talk. We had a personal incident just a couple of months ago, and we lost a cousin due to a drowning. And
oh my God, I'm so sorry.
And he was 44 years old.
Oh,
and so so it's, you know, so I know how sometimes we believe water is comfortable, but you have to respect the water. And even though you can swim, which I believe he was a strong swimmer.
Oh yeah.
A cruise can't really, a cruise ship can't avert major tides in the water.
Exactly.
You know, you're just a person. So stay close to the shoreline and be fearful of the water, and don't go, you know. It's just one of those things. It went out early in the morning. It wasn't any. It was a Sunday, so maybe the volunteer lifeguards that usually patrol it, they are volunteer.
Exactly.
Do that. So Costa Rica, I'm pretty sure we'll be having some conversations because of who this is. But remember, this is something that happens quite often. In these tourist towns, and you just need to be mindful and stay very close to the resort land.
And keep in mind also, this particular resort, you know, I'm familiar with the resort he was on because I enjoy a lot of time down in Costa Rica. They are notorious for riptides. They have signs every 10 feet warning you about the riptide. And so we would be remiss if we also don't lift up in prayer the young man who was with him. He was not by himself. He was with another friend who is now in the IC unit in critical because he did not drown, but he is in bad shape as of this morning, the last I looked at it. And the other thing is that makes it even so much more heartbreaking to me. He waited. He'd just been married to his wife for the 9.5 years. It's not quite 10 years yet. And they had the one daughter together. So, I mean, it's just the pain, you know, I just can't imagine what his wife is going through, his parents is going through. And like I said, everybody felt that he was their son, you know, like Myneca said, depending on which generation you is, or your big brother, little brother, or cousin or whatever. So, like I said, we are just so grateful for his contribution, for the life well lived. And it just goes to show you all we are is dust in the wind. Because you never know when the last time was the last time.
Somehow or another, I believe that, you know, he will go to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
And he was making his peace every day on earth.
Every day.
Yes, he was fully resolved.
That's the fact. That's the fact.
I just feel that. And Ozzie too. And Ozzie too.
Oh yeah.
Didn't I hear that he became a Christian?
His faith, quite a bit. Ozzie did talk about his faith quite a bit, especially in the latter years, that he was trying to get his faith much more on track and everything. So we do send our condolences to both of their families, and we're thankful for their contributions to all of us. And rest in peace, Ozzie Osbourne, 76, and Malcolm Jamal Warner, 54. Guys, thank you so much. We thank you all for joining us here on What Now. Make sure you stay on top of what's going on and let us know if there's anything you would like to talk about ever. But we do appreciate so much you guys tuning in, sharing, liking, subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. Hit the notification bell on Believe Broadcasting. We're at Believe Broadcasting on YouTube. Hit that so you can get a notification of whenever a new podcast is going to drop. And check out our other podcasters as well. We got some new ones coming on soon, so that's exciting. So thank you, everyone, for watching What Now. We look forward to connecting with you the next time. And see you next time. God bless.
Blessings. Bye-bye, everybody.
All righty.
Bye.